Enter the Wolf Time.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Enter the Wolf Time. Today, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be resuming our journey back through the Spatial Codex. Now, it's been over 8 episodes since I did something like this, so yeah, it's about time we got back on track. Now, funnily enough, this video coincides with my 50th subscriber's comment on one of my old episodes. This request was from Velvet Monkey 23, he wanted an episode on vehicles, so that's what we're going to be looking at. We're not going to be looking at the Predators, because in truth, I had a Predator once, and it was a big pile of shit, and it sat on the battlefield, did absolutely nothing, got shot to death and blown up. So, fuck you Predators, that's for being shit. What we are going to be looking at is Whirlwinds and Vindicators. Now, I don't really have that much to show on them, they're not really that heavily converted, if at all, but I'm still going to show you them, and we're going to go through some little useful tactics and stuff I had. So yeah, without further ado, let's show them.
Okie dokie, first things first. Let's look at my Whirlwind. Okay, here's my Whirlwind. Now, not much conversion. In fact, I hardly ever convert my vehicles because I don't often find that they stick around long enough to show off the work. Standard Vindicator, really. I've tried to, well, I didn't really try with this vehicle. This vehicle has a tiny little wolf logo on the front there, which is made out of the horned rat symbol from Skaven with the horns clipped off. Again, this was when I started painting my vehicles. Why is the camera gone fuzzy? God damn it! There we go. This is when I started just spraying my vehicles plain white and leaving it at that, and then touching it up afterwards, rather than doing a whole cream spray paint and then trying to overbrush the white onto it, which I find a hell of a lot easier. Okay, this Vindicator, as with most of my vehicles, has some form of moving parts. I like to try and keep all the moving parts moving if possible. So we have the Whirlwind missile pods here. As you can see, it moves all the way onto the back like that, goes up, you can angle them, you can do all kinds of stuff with it like that. Now, a couple of my friends at Games Workshop, because I painted the rockets red and yellow, they say that it looks like my Whirlwind's going to have an ultimate game of Connect 4 with somebody, which is like, yeah, Connect 4! Missile you in the face. Now, what I also like doing, I like making sure that my stuff isn't going to fall apart too easily. So, I just noticed this thing is fixed on pretty much, and I'll show you how I do that. Let's just remove this part. Now, this I do by getting the bit that connects it to the panel here, and all I do is simply glue 2 little bits of sprue underneath it, so that it has enough room to swivel and move about, and obviously it stops it from falling apart, like that, which I try to do with a lot of my turrets. Okay, so that's my my Vindicator. Nothing really much to see here. I actually have a kills mark on here, how many stuff it's killed. That is individual models and units, so it's no particular tally. This Vindicator's this Whirlwind's name is Thorin. Thorin the Whirlwind. Oh, again. Oh, I thought this bit moved. I might have glued that down by accident. Oh, I tell a lie there, folks. But I know for a fact that the back hatch here does open. Again, I don't really pay much attention to detail with painting the interior of it because it's too much in shadow, so you can't really see much in it. Okay, Vindicator. God damn it, why do I keep calling it a Vindicator? Whirlwind, god damn it. Tactics with these. I find the best tactic with a Whirlwind is to basically sit it behind a large piece of terrain where nothing can touch it, and literally just use the indirect fire rule and fire upwards, because you don't scatter as much when you're firing indirectly. In terms of Whirlwinds, I tend to feel these when I'm fighting really low toughness troops or horde armies. They're very good for taking out stuff like Tyranid Gaunts and Termagaunts, Hormagaunts, stuff like that. Very good for taking out Orcs and Imperial Guard. They can obviously fire 2 types of missiles. One type of missile is an incendiary round, which ignores cover. That's very good when you're dealing with Orcs that are hiding in trees or in terrain and things. It just takes them out like nobody's business. So yeah, that's probably one of the best tactics I can say with a Whirlwind. Stick it behind some terrain and let it just fire off, barrage shots at stuff. The way I justify, because everyone's like, oh, you need line of sight to fire a Whirlwind. It's like, no, you don't. You can fire it indirectly, because why would it have a sensor? I imagine inside a Vindicator, Whirlwind. God damn it! Why am I having so much trouble with that today? I find my imagination in that I find that the crew would have like a little radar thing which displays where roughly enemy locations are, and that represents its indirect fire capability. Okay. let's have a look at my Vindicator. This definitely is a Vindicator now. And here it is. I love the Vindicator kit. I think it's a really nice kit. It makes the models look really nice and chunky and stuff like that, with the extra armour plating on the doors and things. Again, the Dozer Blade moves. This Dozer Blade, I personally, if you don't have a Dozer Blade on a Vindicator, it's not worth having, because what you can do with these things is you can park them inside terrain, because they don't suffer any penalties because of the Dozer Blade. It's actually not a Dozer Blade, it's a Siege Shield, that's the one. So basically you can just stick them in amongst terrain, therefore your vehicle's going to be definitely getting a cover save and just shoot to your heart's content. Now, what a lot of people tend to do when their Vindicator gets the main Demolisher Cannon blown off, they tend to just leave it. However, if it has a Siege Shield, I find it extremely useful for ramming enemy vehicles.
Ramming speed!
There's been loads of times when, on my particular Vindicator, I've lost the main weapon on it. So I just end up just running around the table, ramming enemy vehicles. Now, it's always a good idea to ram them in the rear armour, because you get some extremely good bonuses having a tough front armour of a Vindicator. If you move at full speed, you're definitely going to cause some damage. There was one game when I was playing one of my friends who uses Imperial Guard. He had a line of 3 Leman Russ tanks, just away from his board edge slightly. So what I did, I moved my Vindicator up through cover, and then I just proceeded to ram his Leman Russes in the rear armour, and through some quirk of fate, I managed to blow them all up, which was quite satisfying. Just because it didn't, I mean, you know, what adds insult to injury more than a Vindicator with no Demolisher Cannon? Ramming into stuff and blowing it up. It was a really, really fun game, and this Vindicator we named Model of the Match because it just made so much more than its points worth back. Other things I can say on Vindicators, well, everyone knows the usefulness of a Vindicator, and they do become a huge fire magnet, because as soon as they're on the board, you get people going, "Oh my god! There's a Vindicator there, shoot it now!" And they end up shooting it, and that does detract a lot of fire from the rest of your army. One thing that I have done in the past, I've borrowed a couple of friends' Vindicators, and I've ran like 3 Vindicators in my list, and you should see people shit themselves when they come up against 3 Vindicators. Especially armies that are like, I've got some pretty low units, like Imperial Guard, Tyranids, or even Necrons. Necrons even suffer to this quite a bit. But yeah, they tend to be quite afraid, especially the 3 Vindicators. Overall conversion on this, not so much. I added a bit of kitty litter, not kitty litter though, on the front Dozer Blade, just to give it a bit of weathering and look at it like it's been driven through a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of dirt and grime and more of the kitty litter on the side of it there. Whoa! I seem to have lost the track there. Don't remember doing that. Oh, and I missed a spot. You can see I don't really pay much attention to my vehicles, and also this bit here, the additional shell isn't too well done. Again, inside it, oh my god, I don't even spray the inside. See, that is how much attention to detail I pay with my vehicles. Bah! See, it's not even painted properly. As you can probably see though, with this, it actually looks a little bit less white. If I hold the, if I put it on top of the Whirlwind, you're able to see a noticeable colour change. That one's a lot darker, that one's a lot brighter. And that's because I was using my old technique of painting white, which is rubbish. The Dozer Blade itself is removable. In this case, I don't have the points to fit a Siege Shield on, but I always do end up making the points worth so I can have it. There we go. So it does come off. I just don't think it looks too right without a Siege Shield on it. It just looks a bit funny, a bit strange. Let me clip this back on. This is also so I can transport it easier, because sometimes it doesn't fit properly in my game cases and stuff. Get back in there, you bastard. Okay, well, that is 2 of my heavy support vehicles. In fact, 2 of my only heavy support vehicles. Sorry this was a bit of a rubbish episode, everybody, and I hope hopefully that I've shared a few tactics with you. So yeah, thank you for watching.
Oh yeah, you might have seen in my other episode, I told you about my friend, Mr. Jacob Gafara, who did my graphic for the start of my videos now that I'm using. Some other people have already got in contact with him about getting to do stuff for them. So what I'm going to do in all my videos now, I'm going to include his link in the bar below, just so you guys can get in touch with him. I urge you to, because he's a really good graphic designer, and yeah, just hit him up, ask him what he can do for you. He's already got a couple of projects on at the moment, but I'm sure he'd love more stuff to do, just to keep him occupied and things. So yeah, everybody, that is actually it from me.